Everyone, I'm Jonathan Shaw, founder of Decoding Pain, and in this video I want to share with you the second biggest cause of chronic pain that there is. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I talk about my three cause principle. And the three cause principle is that there are only three causes of pain that you need to concern yourself with. So whatever you have been diagnosed with, that is not the cause of your pain. So if you've been told it's sciatic pain, or if you've been told it's arthritis, or you've been told you have a slipped disc, or whatever you've been labelled with, that is not the cause of your pain. The reality is there is only three causes of pain. Now, in a previous video, I went into the third cause, and today we're going to deal with the second biggest cause. Now, the third biggest cause, if you haven't seen the video, was all about bad movement, poor posture, and the way we move our bodies. The second biggest cause, is flexibility. Now, what do I mean by flexibility? I don't mean you need to be a ballet dancer. I don't need you don't mean you need to go and do gymnastics or anything like that. What I mean is that every person, whether you are 2 years old or 102 years old, should have a healthy flexibility in your body. Now, yes, I know, of course, that a 2-year-old will be way more flexible because they're still developing and they're still growing, and I get that. People say that a 90-year-old will be less flexible. Of course, they'll be less flexible than a 2-year-old because babies and children are still growing and developing. Their bones haven't set. However, there is a degree of flexibility that everybody should have to be healthy and well. So there is a certain degree of flexibility you should maintain throughout your whole life that babies and children will naturally have. But as we get older, we should maintain a certain degree to keep ourselves healthy and fit. The danger is if we don't. The danger is that we become stiff, we become smaller and shrink a little bit because we're not expanding and we're not flexible and we can't move easily. And the danger of this is that when our body tightens, when we do go to move it, we actually can't. And that's when we pull muscles, we twist our body, we twist our spines, and we then develop chronic injuries or chronic pain. Let me give you a little example of this from one of my clients. So I get a lot of people come to me with chronic back pain, and it's a very, very common. I think it's the biggest cause of pain that there is. I think more people have time off work with chronic back pain than literally ever, or any other type of pain. And the main problem with chronic back pain is a lack of flexibility. So I had a lady come to me, and she'd had pain for about 20 years. And 20 years before she saw me, she was working in a garden. She did something, and she went to the doctor because she had pain. And he told her, well, not to do those things. Stop doing those things. Just rest and don't do those movements. And so she listened to that doctor. And what happened was she stopped doing those things. She stopped moving. And over the years, her pain, although it did get really, really bad, it just sort of sat at a low level until 20 years later, she went and did something else, and she then moved her back, and she had very, very severe pain. So she ends up coming to see me. Now, the main problem that she had is that she was told not to do these things, so her body had got stiff and it had got locked. The original problem was not that she shouldn't do the movement. It's that she wasn't flexible enough to do the movements. She was just reaching, and in reaching, because she wasn't very flexible in her muscles, they just pulled and twisted. And the same thing happened 20 years later when she came to see me. So all I did was show her some very simple stretches, some very simple 10-minute, not even 10 minutes, between 5 and 10 minute flexibility routine that she can use to keep her flexible on a daily basis so she can do all of those things. And once we got her flexible, and it only took a few weeks, she was able to do the things that she was originally told that she couldn't do. And her back is healthy and fine, and she's fine this day as far as I know. And that's all it really takes. It only takes a few minutes a day to maintain a degree of flexibility. Because if we don't, we become stiff, we become lethargic as well, and we shrink and get smaller and smaller, and we then get very physical conditions, chronic pain, chronic injuries that just aren't healing. So that is the second biggest cause of pain that I see when people have become unflexible. Another example I give is one of my clients. He was in a supermarket. He was pushing a trolley, and he reached across to get a can off the shelf, and he actually crushed a disc in his back. And this was because he just wasn't flexible enough to make that movement. It sounds very silly, but he just wasn't flexible enough to create that motion. And all we did was we had to make his back more flexible. Although he was very strong physically, he did lots of weights and working out, he just didn't stretch himself very much. So when he reached in a particular direction, his body just couldn't handle it. All we did was make him more flexible in his training and incorporate some stretches into his training. And once we did that, his back has been fine pretty much ever since. And he's never had any serious problems like that. So flexibility is a real key. It's the second biggest cause of pain. And when people come to me, I look at their body and see how flexible they are. In fact, another guy came to me recently. This is a very recent person, and he was told by his chiropractor or osteopath that he needed to do a year's rehabilitation. He needed to do a year's rehabilitation program of getting his back strong. And this was not the case. Within about 3 or 4 weeks, we'd fixed his lower back pain by making him a little bit more flexible, by giving him the right stretches to do. And the thing is, if he trusted that person, he'd have paid a fortune for that rehabilitation when he didn't need strength, he needed flexibility. And that's a really big key. I want to say that right now. A lot of therapists, physios, chiropractors, osteopaths, they want to strengthen you and make you stronger. And that, in my experience, that's actually the last port of call. The first thing you need to do is make yourself more flexible. That does not mean everyone is like that, but a lot of people I see need to be more flexible first before they can become stronger. But there is sometimes a percentage that's the other way around. But so that's rare though in my experience. A lot of people come to me, they've been told they need to be strong, when in reality they need to be more flexible. So flexibility is the second biggest cause of pain that I see. And when I address that with people, their pain starts to go away. When I address where they're not flexible enough, their pain starts to go away. And again, it doesn't mean you have to be a ballet dancer. It doesn't mean that you have to train for months. All it means is you need a couple of stretches specifically tailored to you and your problem to help you stretch those muscles, relax them, ease them off, and then the pain starts to reduce and go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about your particular pain, then please feel free to call me if you're in the UK, or email me at jonathan@decodingpain.com, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that I can. For now, until I see you next time, stay healthy, stay happy, keep smiling, and I will see you on another video.